Moving next to the number 2 defense in the country coming into this upcoming season. And it's hard for me to think about this group as number 1 or number 2 defense, given some of the personnel that was lost off last year. But I look at the culture that's been created, and it's hard for me not to look at Ohio State and have them in the top 2 this year. Look, there's been a lot of changes. You lose your coordinator, Jim Knowles. He's now at Penn State, but you bring in Matt Patricia to replace Jim Knowles. I mean, longtime NFL assistant, former head coach, defense coordinator coming in, bringing that NFL experience, bringing that understanding of how to play complementary because he's served as a head coach in the past. As a really smart, fundamentally sound coach that is going to get the most out of some of his returning talent. And he might have the most talented player pound for pound in the country that returns to his secondary. That's Caleb Downs. I think he's the most versatile. I think he's the best defensive player. I think he can cover the entire field. I think he can be impactful in the run game. If you want to play him at linebacker level, he could do that. I think the guy could literally play almost all 11 snaps, all 11 positions on defense. Like, I really believe he's just that rare from a talent standpoint, but he's not the only one. Sonny Styles is back, linebacker, kind of hybrid outside linebacker type, really came on well as the season went forward. The more he was able to kind of get near the line of scrimmage and sniff things out, his versatility is huge. He can also be used as a blitzer in possible blitz situations, edge rusher in certain situations. I love where he's at. And I love, too, that Jermaine Matthews is back as well as one of the lockdown corners. I think he's a shutdown corner. His peer, Davison Igbinosun, who I think is extremely physical, oftentimes maybe a little too physical, does occasionally get flagged, but that's a really good 1-2 punch at corner to rely upon as long as Davison Igbinosun can clean up his fundamentals just a little bit and avoid grabbing the jersey like he did so many times last year. Along the defensive line, there is a lot of turnover. There's a lot. And that's, I think, part of the reason why they're not number 1. But I look at the addition of a Bo Atkinson from North Carolina. He should be an immediate impact player. I look at Edric Houston. I look at Caden McDonald. Those guys are poised for a bigger role at defensive tackle. And I know, just knowing that second level, there's just so many good pieces with athleticism. They're going to be just fine. I think Patricia will kind of mix the front. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few more 3-down defensive line looks, maybe a few less 4-3 defensive line looks. But I could see them kind of mixing things up and creating significant problems for the opposing offense. Look, there are a lot of turnover. There is a lot of change. There is a bunch of new faces, but the way they've recruited, the way they developed, I'm just not concerned about having to replace those pieces. They're going to be one of the top groups in the country yet again this year.